Welcome into this edition of Bengals Breakdown. I am your host, Stone Shields. Thank you so much for joining us. Got plenty to discuss on today's show. A little bit of a dead period, obviously, as we wait around for training camp. But we're going to take a look at some of the biggest breakout candidates for the Cincinnati Bengals as minicamp has come to a close. But before we do that, we're in the middle of a June-like battle against our Ravens team. As you can see here, we are a little bit behind, but if we go off on this video, get a couple hundred likes, we certainly can catch them. This is another AFC North battle that we want to win. So make sure you do us a favor and hit the thumbs up icon on this video. Our first breakout candidate for the Cincinnati Bengals is tight end Mike Gesicki. The Bengals, of course, brought him in on a one-year deal this offseason, and they're really trying to still find that replacement for Hayden Hurst a couple of years ago. Obviously, the Irv Smith experiment last year did not go accordingly, and the Bengals are really just desperately looking for some consistency at that position. I certainly believe that Mike Gesicki can bring that. He's a Penn State guy, right? A Big Ten guy. I always feel like those kinds of guys translate well to the AFC North just because it's such a physical style of football. And, you might see him out there doing the gritty and acting a fool, but don't let that fool you. He's a really, really tough dude. And taking a look here at some of his past seasons, he was really good in 2020 and 2021, but you can see his production kind of dipped the past 2 years. And I think that's really you can really come to that conclusion based off one thing. The quarterback play for Mike Gesicki has been really, really shaky. When you look at last year in New England, the debacle with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, the whole thing was just kind of a mess, and you can't really expect your tight end to have success. And then the year before, obviously Tua Tagovailoa is a great quarterback for the Dolphins, but that was the year where he was seemed like he was hurt the entire year. So I think the stability at the quarterback position is really going to help Gesicki this year, and I expect him to kind of return to that 2021 form. Taking a look here at the Bengals tight end depth chart, let's keep in mind that they brought in Gesicki on a one-year deal, but they also came to agreement on contracts with two other tight ends, and Drew Sample and Tanner Hudson, and then went out and drafted two, in Eric All and Tanner McLaughlin out of Arizona. So I don't think the Bengals necessarily are certain that Mike Gesicki is going to be the long-term answer. As you can tell that they've allocated a lot of resources to this room, but I certainly think he has the ability to shine in 2024. So it's your first chance to get interactive in the comments on today's video. Will Mike Gesicki break out in 2024? Give us your thoughts. Let us know. Type Y if you do believe he will be a breakout candidate in 2024, or type N if you do not believe he will be. Another potential breakout candidate to monitor for the Cincinnati Bengals is running back Chase Brown. And, one thing that I really like about Chase Brown is he's really a firecracker, right? He's one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and he's going to get a lot more opportunity this year. Last year, Joe Mixon clearly was running back one, and I do believe Zach Moss is running back one this year, but it's much more of a by committee kind of situation in terms of the Bengals running back room. So he's going to get a lot more opportunities. As you can see here with his stats, he was really effective in the pass game as well. And there have been reports this offseason that he's even improved in that area this year. So certainly expect him to be able to go out there and be effective, not only running the football, but also in the screen game as well. Like I said, I do believe Zach Moss is running back one for this team, and that probably will be that way for a while. But Chase Brown is certainly going to get a lot of opportunity and a lot of looks to really help the Bengals and impact them offensively. Want to take a second and shout out our friends at Fanatics. The Amarius Mims rookie jerseys are now available. You can see the link down below, chatsports.com/Amarius Mims. You can go there and get your Amarius Mims rookie jersey. Show your support for the Bengals' first-round draft pick. Certainly expect big things for him this year. Might not be right off the bat, but certainly going to get in there and play some meaningful snaps at some point. So visit that link down below, chatsports.com/Amarius Mims, and get your Amarius Mims rookie jerseys. Another potential breakout candidate for the Bengals is strong safety Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle was, in my opinion, the Bengals' best rookie last year, and really, I think he was one of the. I think he was the best safety rookie last year in the entire NFL. And let's not be confused with the situation at free safety and think that's similar to the situation at strong safety, right? Bengals went out there in free agency and brought in Geno Stone to be their free safety because Dax Hill, it wasn't working out. So they went out and got one of the best free safeties in the National Football League, and he's going to be their long-term answer at that position. That's not what they're doing here with Von Bell. Now, Von Bell might come in and start at first, but eventually he's going to pass the baton to Jordan Battle, whether that be in the preseason or at some point during the regular season or in the playoffs, or maybe not till next year. At some point, that baton is going to be passed to him because the Bengals have a lot of confidence in Jordan Battle. Once again, your chance to get interactive in the comments. Who starts at strong safety in the playoffs? That's the question to this weigh-in here. It's not week 1, but the playoffs. Do you think it'll still be Von Bell by that time, or do you think Jordan Battle will have taken over by that point? Type J if you believe it'll be Jordan Battle, or type V if you believe it'll be Von Bell. We're just going to go out and assume the Bengals are going to be in the playoffs, right? Because that's certainly going to happen if Joe Burrow stays healthy. So who's going to start at strong safety in that situation for the Bengals? Another player to monitor is Myles Murphy. I feel like Myles Murphy, hasn't gotten a ton of attention this offseason. Not a lot of people have been talking about him. And he's certainly a guy that can break out because, of course, he was drafted in the first round by the Cincinnati Bengals last year. I think he gets a little bit of unfair criticism in terms of his performance last year. I think you just have to understand that some guys are projects. They're not going to come in right away and be special. And I think he showed some flashes, but overall I think the fan base was a little disappointed in him. But I think year 2 is a really, really big year for Myles Murphy. When you look at the other edge options the Bengals have, and Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, really, really good players, right, and leaders of that defense, but getting up there a little bit in age, 28, 29 years old for both those guys. So at some point, Myles Murphy's got to prove that he can be the future for Cincinnati at that position. I think this is a really big year for him. I'm not going to say make it, break it year, but I certainly think the Bengals will have a good idea if he can be the future at that position for them in 2024. So name a player you think breaks out for the Bengals in 2024. Is it one of the 4 guys I have already mentioned, or do you have somebody new? Let us know down in the comments right now. Lastly, we got Logan Wilson on this list. Maybe this is a bounce back year instead of a breakout year for Logan Wilson. He personally is one of my favorite players, probably my favorite player on the team. Really just love everything he's about. Taking a look at some of his stats here, he was really, really good in 2022 and was able to earn that extension, right? In 2023, he kind of took a bit of a step back in terms of his performance. Now, if you take a look at the stats, it doesn't look bad at a glance necessarily because you see, he was able to, create some turnovers and still be, effective tackler, but he was not as good in coverage, right? He was giving up 7.9 yards per target and 4 touchdowns, and those numbers significantly came back on what he was doing in 2022. So, despite his 4 interceptions, he had a higher passer rating when targeted, and obviously that is not a good situation. I really do expect Logan Wilson to break out in 2024, and I think he's going to return to form that we saw in 2022 and even be a little bit better than that. Last year he really regressed in coverage for Cincinnati, gave up a lot of big plays, a lot of first downs, and several touchdowns as well. And I really believe the defense goes how Logan Wilson goes. I think Sam Hubbard's certainly the leader on that defense. Not to say that Logan Wilson isn't a great leader, because I think he is as well. But when he's playing well, that defense is really clicking. When he's flying around, making plays, hitting people hard, creating turnovers, causing havoc, showing off his ball skills, that's when the Bengals are really at their best. And I certainly believe that Logan Wilson will be back and better than ever in 2024. Once again, make sure you subscribe to our channel here at Chat Sports. That is Bengals Breakdown, of course, youtube.com/Bengals TV. We're going to have coverage for you all off-season long, all training camp long. We're going to have a lot of fun things planned during the season as well, with watch parties and plenty of other stuff that you are not going to want to miss. So make sure you subscribe today. That is youtube.com/Bengals TV.